History is full of legendary warriors and mighty empires. But how often does the story of an entire nation begins with a woman? This is the story of Princess Yenenga, the warrior whose defies forged a dynasty. Her legacy would give birth to one of West Africa's most resilient people, a people who would resist the continent's greatest empires for centuries and build a kingdom that will stand for over 800 years. This is the complete history of the Mossi tribe. In the heart of West Africa, on the savanna plains of the upper Volta River basin, a civilization rose. It wasn't defined by towering pyramid or sprawling stone city, but by something far tougher, an unbreakable spirit of independence. This is the story of the Mossi people, the dominant ethnic group of modern-day Burkina Faso. Their history is an epic saga of military skill, clever politics, and a remarkable centuries-long resistance to the powerful forces that surrounded them. For their mythic origins in the tale of a runaway princess to their enduring cultural traditions, the Mossi Kingdoms were one of the most significant and long-lasting powerful in the region. Their story isn't just about kings and battles. It's a testament to the power of knowing who you are and refusing to be conquered. By the way guys, I'm hoping to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. So I would really appreciate if you guys can hit the subscribe button and like the video. So let's get back to the Mossi history. Like many of the world's greatest civilizations, the history of the Mossi doesn't start with precise dates, but with a powerful founding might. This is the legend of Princess Yenenga, a story so central to the Mossi identity that it's still a source of immense pride in Burkina Faso today. The story begins in the 11th or 12th century with Yenenga, the daughter of Nagbewa, the powerful king of the Dagomba Kingdom in what is now northern Ghana. But Yenenga wasn't your average princess. While other royal daughters learned the way of the court, Yenenga was drawn to the battlefield. She was a fearsome warrior, a master horsewoman, and an expert with a javelin and bow. Her name, meaning the slime one, didn't quite capture the strength that made her a commander or her own battle line, fighting her father's enemies, the Malinkes. King Nedega valued his daughter's military genius so much that he refused to let her marry, wanting to keep his greatest warrior by his side. But Yenenga felt trapped. She wanted a life she could choose for herself. In one famous story, she planted a field of grain and then let it wither and die, a message to her father that her whole life was being wasted. When the king still wouldn't budge, Yenenga decided to act. She disguised herself as a man, jumped on her stallion, and rode north into the unknown. Her journey was dangerous, deep in a forest, and exhausted. She met a lone elephant hunter named Riale. He saw through her disguise and was captivated by her spirit. They fell in love, and their union produced a son, Ouedraogo. His name, meaning stallion, was a tribute to the horse that carries his mother to freedom. When Ouedraogo grew up, he traveled to meet the grandfather he would never know, King Nedega. He was overjoyed to find his daughter was alive and welcomed his granddaughter with gifts fit for a king, horses, cattle, and a unit of horsemen. With these resources, Ouedraogo returns to his homeland, conquered the local people, and founded the city of Tenkodogo, the Old Land. This became the very first Mossi Kingdom. Ouedraogo's 3 sons carried on his work. His eldest, Diabalompo, founded the city of Fadanguruma. His second, Rawa, ruled the Zondoma province, and his youngest, Zungrana, took over Tenkodogo. It was Zograna's son, Ubri, who truly cemented Mossi power. Around the 12th century, Ubri conquered new land and established the city of Ouagadougou, which would become the heart of the Mossi world for centuries to come. And so, a new people were born. The fusion of these warriors from the south with the established local population like the Ninisi and Gurunsi. This union created the Mossi, a people whose origin story uniquely centered on a powerful female founder. From their beginnings in the 11th and 12th century, the Mossi state grew into a powerful and sophisticated confederation. By the 13th century, they had entered a golden age that would last for nearly 6 centuries, dominating the Upper Volta region. The Mossi power wasn't a single, rigid empire. It was a network of strong, independent kingdoms, with the most important being Ouagadougou, Tenkodogo, Fada Guruma, and Yatenga. While they were sometimes rivals, especially Ouagadougou and Yatenga, they were all connected by family ties, military alliances, and shared traditions. At the center of it all was a remarkable stable feudal system. At the very top was the Emperor of Ouagadougou, the Mogo Naba, a title that means ruler of the world. His cult was the political and spiritual center of the Mossi universe. The Mogo Naba had a council of chiefs who governed their own region and helped choose his successors, though it usually just went to the eldest son. Below them were village chiefs, creating a clear chain of command that kept the kingdom stable. Mossi society itself was highly structured. The ruling class were the Nakomse, nobles who could trace their line all the way back to Princess Yenenga. They held the Nam, a concept of divine power and the right to rule passed down from the founders. The commoners, the Tengbise, were descendants of the local peoples who had joined the kingdom. They were the farmers, the artisans, and the backbone of the economy. A class of slaves, often captured in war, also existed. This social order was even mirrored in the family, where the father of the king, the wife, his advisor, and the children, the people. So what was their secret weapon? Horses. The vast savannah was perfect for raising them, and the Mossi developed a cavalry that was second to none. This fast-moving cavalry unit allowed them to launch lightning fast, raid and defend their own land with incredible efficiency. The horse became the ultimate symbol of power and authority. Economically, the Mossi were in the perfect spot. They controlled key trade routes connecting the great empires of the Niger Bend, like Mali and Songhai, with the resource, rich forests to the south. By taxing the caravans passing through, they funded their powerful military, creating a self-reinforcing circle. The history of the Mossi is more than anything a story of resistance. For 500 years, they didn't just defend their borders, they actively challenged the most powerful empires of their time. Their legacy is defined by their clash with the Mali and Songhai empires and their centuries-long resistance to the spread of Islam. Starting in the 14th century, the Mossi wasn't just sitting back, they launched successful attacks against the Mali Empire and took on the powerful Islamic State of the Sahel. The northern Mossi Kingdom of Yatenga was a constant headache for the mighty Songhai Empire. Mossi forces grew so bold that they launched audacious raids that threatened legendary cities like Timbuktu, an important trading hub like Walata. The conflict with Songhai got serious in the late 15th century. The great Songhai ruler, Askiya Muhammad I, a devout Muslim, declared a holy war against the Mossi. The ultimatum was simple: convert to Islam or be destroyed. The Mossi ruler's response is one of the history books. He formally replied that before he could decide, he needed to consult his ancestors. This wasn't just a clever delay, it was a profound statement of identity. the Mossi would not abandon their traditions. While the Songhai armies won the initial battle, they failed in their main goal. The Mossi did not convert, and when Songhai launched more invasion in the mid-16th century, the Mossi successfully fought them back. By the time the Songhai Empire fell to Moroccan invaders in 1591, the Mossi kingdoms were still standing, having outlasted one of their greatest rivals. This military resistance was directly tied to their religion resistance. While most of the West African gradually adopted Islam, the Mossi stood apart for 500 years. This wasn't because they were isolated Muslim traders, known as the Yarsi, lived in their land, and the Mogo Naba even had an imam at his court, but the heart of their society remained firmly rooted in their own traditional beliefs. How did they pull it off? First, their military was strong enough to repel armies trying to force conversion. They were never conquered by an Islamic empire during their period, so political independence means religious independence. Second, and most importantly, their political and religion were inseparable. The authority of the Mossi rulers, the Nam, came directly from their connection to the ancestor. To abandon the ancestral religion would be to destroy the very source of their political legitimacy. The king couldn't convert without undermining his own right to rule. That's the real meaning behind consult the ancestor, a declaration that their power came from their own history, not a foreign faith. Ancestor veneration was the cornerstone of Mossi spirituality. They believe ancestors aren't gone, they are in a better world from where they can help or punish the living. An oath sworn on one's ancestor is the most serious promise you can make. This deep connection to their past was a powerful shield against outside influence. The centuries of Mossi independence, which saw them outlast the great empire of Mali and Songhai, finally ended with the arrival of a new power, the French. By the late 19th century, the scramble for Africa was on, and the French were expanding across West Africa, slowly surrounding the Mossi Kingdom. In 1896, French colonial force invaded. The last great independent Mogo Naba, Wobgo, sent his force to meet them as he fled the capital, Ouagadougou. But despite their long and proud military history, the Mossi cavalry stood no chance against French machine guns and cannon. The conquest was swift and brutal. By 1897, the Mossi Kingdom were no more, absorbed into the new colony of French Upper Volta. The French conquest was a traumatic break in Mossi history. The political power of the Mogo Naba was shattered. In a practical move, the French decided to govern through the existing Mossi hierarchy, but it was just a shadow of its former self. The Mogo Naba became a figurehead, while real power lay with French administrators. The very system that had guaranteed their independence was now being used to control them. The economic impact was just as devastating. The French imposed heavy taxes, which recruited the traditional way of life. To pay them, huge numbers of Mossi men were forced into labor migration, leaving their farms and families to work on French-owned plantations in the neighboring Ivory Coast. This was essentially a system of forced labor designed to enrich French by exploiting the Mossi people. And yet, the Mossi spirit survived. When Burkina Faso, as Upper Volta, was later renamed, finally won its independence in 1960. The traditional system of kings and chiefs were revived. While the modern government doesn't formally recognize the Mogo Naba political power, he remains an incredibly influential cultural figure. A king still holds weekly court ceremonies in Ouagadougou, a direct link to the kingdom's long and storied past. The country's name itself is a nod to the Mossi legacy. Burkina, a word from the Mossi language, More, means honor or land of honorable people. The story of the Mossi doesn't end with colonialism. Today, the Mossi are the largest ethnic group in Burkina Faso, making up more than half the population. Most are still farmers, cultivating millet and maize, their lives tied to the land just as their ancestors were. The legacy of their empire is woven into modern Burkinabe life. You can see it most clearly in their famous art, especially their masks. These masks aren't just beautiful objects for a museum wall. They are sacred, used in ceremonies, from funerals to harvest festivals. They are conduit to the spirit world, a way to communicate with ancestors and ensure the community's well-being. A festival like the Goli, with its vibrant mask performance, is a living link to these ancient traditions. The political structure they built was so efficient that even the French kept it around, and today, the traditional system of governance still command immense respect. The Mogo Naba court in Ouagadougou is a powerful symbol of continuity, a reminder of a time when the Mossi were master of their own fate. Perhaps the greatest Mossi legacy is their sheer resilience. In an era of immense pressure from expanding empires, the spread of Islam, and European colonization, the Mossi held on to their identity. They kept their language, their social structures, and their core beliefs. Their history proves that Africa's societies weren't just passive victims of history, they were its authors, shading their own destiny through strength, savvy, and an unshakable belief in their own culture. From a princess on a stallion to a modern nation that carries her spirit, the history of the Mossi is a sweeping epic of resilience. For over 800 years, they built a civilization that was as sophisticated as it was strong. They faced down the greatest empires of their day and held firm to their ancestral traditions. Their story is a powerful reminder of Africa's rich legacy of kingdoms and culture, a testament to a people who wrote their own history.